21, 2 touchdowns. Devontae, 9 catches, 183 yards, 1 touchdown. What did Jalen Hurts prove to you, bro?
Well, I mean, look, the dude's a gamer, and I think the question is, do they lean more into this, than they've been using him before? Go ahead, bro. I'm just reading the graph. I'm just reading the bottom of the screen. But I'm gonna say no, in that the 2 losses they just had, he averaged 35 passes a game, and coach is big on that stat.
Yeah.
When he throws over 30 times, they tend to lose, or 500 or whatever. He only threw it 23 times yesterday. To me, it's how he throws it. And Nick, you were showing graphics early in the season. I think we have the graphic from their first game against the Cowboys. It's their pass chart.
You
were showing the pass
scatter plot.
So this is from the first game against Dallas. Now, he ran for 2 touchdowns and had but look at that,
and
right?
It's
all around.
Down the field.
1 bomb and then everything else right around the line of scrimmage. Look at yesterday's pass chart. Obviously, you had the 5 deep balls, but it's more intermediate stuff. It's more spread out. It's some stuff in the middle of the field, not just on the outside of the numbers, but inside. So I just think if you vary it with him, that's what I want to see do. And I do have to say this, because Nick, you've pointed out, without Saquon rushing for a lot of yards, they're going to have to throw it more. Jalen is not running as much either. His first 4 games this year, he had 3 games over 40 yards, 2 of them over 60 yards rushing. I think he had 4 rushing touchdowns. The last 3 games, he's had 6 rushing yards total, and 1 touchdown rushing, probably was a tush push or something like that. But I said that Cowboys game, when we were up here the next day, I said the hits he took, I thought he took some shots, and I was like, I don't think he's going to be able to run like this throughout the season. Mm-hmm. And that was probably a big part of the supernatural funk. He had the knee. Knee was bothering him. And I don't think he can run like he used to. I'm not saying that as an insult, but I just think he takes some shots. And he's not Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen or somebody like that. And so I actually think him not being able to run is also hurting their running game. Not just in yards, but I think not the defense not worrying about him running.
Keeping it on RPOs.
Yeah, right. They are not doing as many RPOs, so I think that has made it tougher on Saquon as well. Again, I don't want him throwing 35 times a game, but that is something they're going to have to figure out, how they can be as effective without him running the football.
I'm going to let Nick and Greg talk, but you're right. Jalen Hurts is not like Lamar and Josh Allen. Because Jalen Hurts won a Super Bowl and is a Super Bowl MVP. Also, Jalen Hurts not running is not why it's been hard for Saquon to run. It's because the O-line has been not good at all. That's why. You understand that? Are we clear? You want to now blame the run game on Jalen Hurts? Did I hear that correctly? What?
All as much.
Yes, they're going to have to lean more into their passing game. And they have to, because of what they're not getting out of their running game this year. Last year, it would have been foolish for us to say, yes, throw the ball more when you're running at such a high clip and you're averaging the amount of yards
you
they
show
were averaging,
Saquon's numbers
last year. But to your point, when you look at that pass chart, it's not just that you have to pass the ball more, because a lot of people, if you watch the game, you say, well, just like the running game can open up the passing game can open up the running game. The passing game, if you press the ball down the field, it opens up more of your passing game as well. Because now you have everything underneath, because defensive backs are so mindful now of, shoot, I can't let Devontae Smith get past me. I can't let A.J. Brown get past me. And now everything underneath, the intermediates, the slants, the hitches, the screen passes, everything becomes available to you. And so then you can operate at an efficient clip like Jalen Hurts did yesterday against the Minnesota Vikings. It still didn't really help their running game, but eventually the hope is that it will. Last year, it was a completely different team. Built completely different. You didn't have the issues up front, offensive line-wise. You have some of those issues. You got to lean on everyone, and they have some great skill guys, clearly, that they can lean heavily upon.
Do you think, here's my galaxy brain theory. I view the whole NFL season as sort of an ecosystem and things affect other things. I thought the Jamar Chase game was just a big sign. If I was Petullo, I'd be like, man, I'm just going to feed my guys. I'm just going to feed my superstar wide receivers, even though there was a lot of stats, and again, we're not too deep into the game plan. There's a lot of stats that you should run on the Vikings, do not throw on the Vikings. Do you buy the fact that like they could just lean on this? This is not necessarily a story about Jalen Hurts, more a story about like, AJ and Devontae. Like just feed these guys and good things will happen.
Why not? Like they can do so much. It's not just about the deep balls. You can run screens.
Right.
You can involve them,
and
they're going to have
more targets.
Yeah, they're at the end of the day, you know, I think whatever Jalen Hurts questions or debates that we had in the offseason or in off seasons past that were hypothetical, we're actually going to get real world tests for. And the first one he aced with triple flying colors because they are not going to have a dominant running game this year. Like that is my other big takeaway is Saquon's 480 touches from last year are still showing up.
I swear, that's the end of the segment. It is the O-line. It is the O-line. It is the O-line. It is the O-line. I don't understand. Everyone knows this. Anyone who watches anything knows this. If you just watch other people who know more about football than me, than you, than anyone, they all say the same thing. I don't understand what they don't understand. It has nothing to do with Saquon Barkley's touches last year. It has nothing to do with Jalen Hurts. It has nothing to do with the passing game even. It's just the O-line. That's it. They're not opening up the holes. Saquon Barkley is getting met in the backfield left and right. That's what this is right now. That's what this is. We gotta stop. We just gotta stop. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's like it's not even my opinion. It's just a fact, and it's also just listening to the opinions of others who, again, can break down film and understand the O-line play way better than I ever will. I just don't understand. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. So we gotta stop. We just gotta stop at that. We got to stop with that. And then same thing with even the passing chart. And if you guys remember, like a month ago, I debunked the whole passing chart thing because they're like, look at Jalen Hurts, he can't throw this, that. And I showed the passing chart, and I showed the passing chart of Mahomes in Super Bowls and playoff games and Josh Allen. I showed everyone's passing chart, and I went through all of them, and I was like, can we all just stop here? It's just ridiculous. And saying like, oh, you know, we have a lot of questions about Jalen Hurts. He's already answered all of them. He does not need to show you anything specifically this season to prove his worth. He does not, okay? He does not. Just ridiculous. And now imagine thinking, and Wilds, I love you, bud, but like you think the Eagles are copying off of the Cincinnati Bengals right now? That's who they're... The Philadelphia Eagles, who have actually gotten to and won Super Bowls, they're going to copy off of Joe Flacco and the Cincinnati Bengals. I can't even process a comment like that. I really can't. I really can't. I really can't. This game was about the players stepping up and rising to the occasion. And Jalen Hurts, specifically, obviously, as he's the quarterback, but also unbelievable catches and plays, specifically by Devontae. AJ, I think AJ had a one really nice catch. I think the other three were pretty, obviously they were big plays, but they were status, you know, they were like kind of made easy because of Jalen Hurts' throws. Devontae definitely had a couple like that's a big man catch right there. I think there was that one catch where Jalen scrambled and was thrown off to a side where A.J. Brown had to kind of come back down the sideline, I believe. I have another video coming out that shows all the highlights of the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts, which I'm excited to post, but I'll be posting that later. Yeah, this was just Jalen Hurts getting settled into the role of, I'm just a quarterback and I'm going to play quarterback, rather than this specific tight structure of like, this is how we're going to play. We're going to be very specific, because they have, you know, over the years, they have absolutely squeezed Jalen Hurts, but it's not a bad thing. Like, I want to be very clear about that. It's not a bad thing. They did keep him, you know, on a leash, so to speak, but it's appropriate. It's smart football. And it's not because of his limitations. It's just we want to put, bumpers around you because it makes it easier to succeed. And that philosophy is great when your defense is balling, and when you're and when you have a great run game. And when you don't, then yeah, you need to open things up. But let's be very clear about this game. Like there's a few things that I really want to plant the flag here. One, a lot of the big time plays, some crucial moment plays. I want to be okay. Let's be very clear. Kevin Patullo definitely did call up a handful of plays and some at the right time, and the plays themselves that absolutely opened up the gate for a big moment. For big plays, undeniably, and so he deserves some credit there. But then also some of these crucial moments, especially earlier on in the game, were specifically Jalen Hurts. Like at least if let's say there was like 6 really important crucial plays, the 3rd and long, the 4th and long, et cetera, you'd say probably at least half of them were off script. Jalen Hurts kind of just doing some magic and and asking Devontae and AJ to step up. That is a problem to me because I've been saying this for months and months and months and months, well over a year, not 2 years, about, look at the biggest plays, the biggest moments of the Kansas City Chiefs, the Patriots, whoever. You can see that like 9 out of 10 of those are schemed. It's not just Mahomes being magical, Tom Brady being magical. Like they are schemed. They are set up. It is the play. It is within the structure of what they're looking to do offensively. And so when you're constantly relying on your players to get the job done, that's what happens with the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills. It don't work out very well for them now, does it? It does not. And so that is something that you want and you need to see the Eagles continue to elevate and do better. And this is why I said, you're going to be mainly impressed by this game and this offense if you already downplayed who Jalen Hurts is and was or has been. I don't. So I know he can do all these things. I don't know that the coach can dial up the perfect plays at the right time to set them up. The other thing is that when the receivers were actually open, like AJ, Devontae, Dallas, etc., Jalen Hurts can hit the receivers, okay? In this game, think of how many times that Jalen Hurts had to call a hike and throw, and there was nowhere for him to throw to, or it was a super tight window, or it was a throw to AJ, and AJ just had it slap off his hands, then fell to the ground. That didn't really happen this game. So when the receivers are actually open and have some space, Jalen Hurts can hit them. Okay? Why? Oh, gee, I don't know. Maybe because he's a great quarterback. I don't know what to tell you. So it's just and we did see that a bunch throughout this game as well. And lo and behold, Jalen Hurts was able to throw a lot. And it's also pretty great because you want to say hey, Jalen Hurts, he only threw 23 times, blah, 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 and look at his pass chart. And exactly, he still did not get the benefit of these easy, little 1-yard passes that go for 10, 50, whatever it is, any of the behind the line of scrimmage, the screen passes, etc. He still never really got to even boost his, total passing attempts of 31 attempts. And that's because 6 or 7 attempts were these real quick things. Oh, which brings me up to mind. They still keep trying to do their whole running back check down, essentially right at the line of scrimmage, and it essentially never goes anywhere. It is, the check down to I almost said Charles Barkley, to Saquon Barkley, it almost never works out for Jalen and the Eagles. It's at that point, you're almost better off just throwing the ball away because you're more likely to get a loss than anything else. And so that is something also that actually drove me. That was probably the main thing that really drove me crazy. On Sunday is this check down to Barkley that it's not okay, well, at least he got 2 yards, 3 yards for it. No. It pretty much almost never goes anywhere. And now Saquon is getting set up for a pop, for a hit where you're just you know what? I'd rather you just throw it at his feet or just, 10 feet over his head and just let it be. That is something that's the thing. There really never is a consistent bailout check down for Jalen just to kind of take that he can just be okay, I can get this. And again, one of the biggest plays in the first big play to AJ Brown, it was going to be one of those little 5-yard, short yard passes that were going nowhere. And Jalen Hurts had to scramble a little bit, and he tells AJ to go down, and then that's what then led to that big play on I think that was the 4th and 4, 4th and 3, whatever the heck it was. So there is still some of those problems that they have to work out. So you can't just say, should the Eagles lean more into Hurts's passing? Because it's like, well, can the offense create the structure in which Jalen Hurts can succeed? He's already proven and shown himself the ability to do that. You have to present it to him. Okay, you have to put him in a situation to succeed. And let's be very clear, against the Vikings, that was a Jalen Hurts special, not a coaching special. Like, that's not, what we see with Sean McVay, what we see with Kevin O'Connell, what we see with Shane Steichen, with Daniel Jones, what we see with Andy Reid, what we see with Shanahan. You could see very much so in the structure of how this offense is being run and what they're asking their quarterback to do. Jalen Hurts very much was going up against it this game. And lesser quarterbacks would have failed. But Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback and was able to succeed significantly. So this was not just about, well, you just got to get the ball in the playmaker's hands. You just got to get the ball to AJ. You just got to get the ball to Devontae. You just got to let him pass all over the field. It's just, it's just not. If it was that simple, then everybody does it. See, then everybody does it. Then Jake Browning, just get the ball to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. It's just that easy. And it's not. It's not. So you need to structure the offense. You need the ability of the quarterback. You need the play calling. And so it's just they're still just having the wrong conversation. I mean, just think about what they're even talking about with Saquon. Like they're still having the wrong conversation as to why it's not even working necessarily with Saquon. So it's just exhausting. I'm exhausted by it. I really am. I really am. It's just, I don't know. You know what I do want to know? What other tests do some of these other quarterbacks have to pass? That's what I want to know. Because he's like, all these questions in this test that Jalen Hurts has ahead of him, we're going to find out this season. And it's like, okay, what other test does Lamar need to prove? And Josh and Burrow. I know Mahomes says he's already answered everything, but what about, Dak Prescott? I'd love to know. I really would. I'd love to know, because we've seen Jalen Hurts win with a bad O-line. We've seen him win without a great run game. We've seen him win without elite wide receivers. We've seen him win without elite defenses. Like I don't know what, does he have to win the Super Bowl under these very specific circumstances? I'm trying to figure out what is it, honestly? Because then it's just like, I don't know. I just would love to know. What questions? What are the answers? You guys got to tell me. You got to tell me. Because even this situation right now, where Jalen Hurts obviously succeeded against the Minnesota Vikings, if you are going to consistently ask and rely on your quarterback to make the plays that Jalen Hurts was making, it's a tough existence. It's a tough existence, and I'm telling you right now, Jalen Hurts is not going to succeed every single time under those circumstances, because no quarterback will. And they'll be all varying degrees. Maybe the best of the best succeed in those circumstances 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. Maybe it's less than we actually think. It's like 6 out of 10. And then the average and good quarterbacks, the don't get too lost in these names, the Kirk Cousins, the Brock Purdy's, whoever, Dak Prescott's, they can succeed 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10. And the bad quarterbacks, the Tuas of the NFL, they can succeed under those circumstances 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10. Right? And it's all varying degrees of success rates. There's this delusion that we think that a Josh or a Lamar or Burrow or Mahomes do it 10 out of 10. And it's just that's not the case either. Or because anytime Josh Allen doesn't do it, they're like, he choked. And it's okay, well then Mahomes choked in all the games that he's lost, or in the Super Bowl, or Mahomes choked in the first few weeks of the season when they were winless, right? Okay, so then he choked. So that's why I pushed back so hard on the narrative against Jalen Hurts in the New York Giants game. It was he wasn't good, he played bad, he choked, he this, he that. And it's no, he just didn't succeed in that moment, which is okay, because I don't expect him to be perfect. I don't expect him to be able to have 100% accuracy rate on a deep ball to AJ or Devontae. I don't know. And I expect him sometimes to throw an interception, to make a mistake, to make a bad read, to let a ball sail on him, to kind of get hung up where he's like about to throw, but he doesn't throw, then he throws, and he just, I expect it. Because I don't expect or demand perfection. And that was always the problem with these conversations, specifically around Jalen Hurts. Like Nick said, oh, we're going to get some real world data this season about Jalen Hurts and some of the questions. And it's like, well, we already get real world data around the ridiculousness of the conversation we have surrounding Jalen and this Philadelphia Eagles team. I mean, think about it. He's been succeeding and doing all he could to help win throughout the season. They come up short on the Broncos, not really because of any fault of his own. Then he doesn't have the best game against the Giants, and it's just disaster. This is all the problems that's wrong with Jalen. And then Jalen shows, I don't even want to say proves, because it's already proven to me, shows how great and special he is. And they're like, see, like this is what we need to, and then it's just like, it still just becomes a weird, twisted conversation where Colin's like, finally we saw it. And it's like, oh, right, finally we saw it, because we've never seen anything like this out of Jalen Hurts before. It just, the conversation just continues to get more and more bizarre to me around Jalen Hurts. It really does. It really does. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles? Should the Eagles lean more into Hurts' passing? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.